Dayo Ilushakin. And some women from the political parties in Rivers State have staged a walk to the INEC office in the state over the conduct of the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections. The party women were in their black attires with different inscriptions on their placards. As some of the women spoke to newsmen at the INEC office and threatened to come out en masse on Saturday if polling units' results are not uploaded real-time. One of the women, who is also an actress, said the demand is to ensure that the forthcoming elections are not compromised.
So we are the women of Rivers State, and then we're out here today to urge, if we even need to beg, we would beg. We're urging INEC to please do the right thing on the 18th, because there's a lot of sacrifices that we do to come out here to vote. We're voting because we're deciding our future. We're deciding the future of our unborn children. So this is very, very personal to us. And what we're saying is, INEC, please stick to the Electoral Act and please deliver a free, fair and credible election on the 18th. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Responding, the Public Affairs Officer of INEC in the state, Geraldine Kilemu, assured that INEC will ensure the complaints are addressed.
I must commend you for this effort. Basically, we have seen some of the inscriptions, the placards, and what have been written on them, and we have taken note of them. Things you have raised here this morning, we are assuring you this time that we will play votes to be counted and for results to be uploaded. Whatever glitches that we had during the presidential election, the Commission has worked on it.
In a related development, a joint conference of governorship candidates of political parties in Rivers State has called on INEC to ensure that politicians are not allowed to access the different collation centres during the governorship election. The 5 governorship candidates of the political parties, including their deputies, alleged they have uncovered plots by INEC to compromise the electoral processes by allowing non-party agents access to collation centres. Addressing newsmen, the governorship candidate of APC, Tonya Cole, said their sole demand is for INEC and the security agencies to comply with the provisions of the electoral guidelines.
That INEC and every relevant authority should stop all government officials from accessing the collation centres. That in accordance with Section 43(1) of the Electoral Act, prohibiting government officials from acting as agents to political parties at elections, INEC and relevant security authorities should restrict the movement of all government officials, and that they should all stay away completely from collation centres, as their presence will compromise the process.
On his part, governorship candidate of National Rescue Movement, Bumabo Jackridge, urged all INEC ad hoc staff to avoid compromising Saturday's elections.
I have sent message again to the INEC. We are watching, we are waiting, and we are ready. We are not ready to compromise anything. Don't come and it for me. Don't come and it for any of us. Just come and do the right thing. Whoever wins, we will celebrate together. But if you come in a mind that you have been protected, you want to come and misbehave in Rivers State, you will not go back. That is the message our governor sent 2015 and 2019. I am only helping him to remind them.
Also, Deputy Governorship candidate of Accord, Princess Tambari Dedam, said the purpose for the joint press conference was to ensure the Commission does not give preferential treatment to the ruling party in the state.
We are working and arguing, asking the state governor and all the people concerned and INEC that we want to work together, and all we are asking for is a free, fair and credible election for everybody. The will of the people must stand. Nobody should be given any higher chance or above any other party to chime in because they are in power or the government is in power. INEC should do its bit to be sure that we have fair, credible election in Rivers State, and the will of the people must stand.
Meanwhile, INEC in Rivers State today distributed sensitive materials to local government areas in the state. Now, this comes after INEC officials, security agencies, election observers, including party collation agents, inspected the ballot papers and result sheets for the governorship and state assembly elections at the headquarters of CBN in Port Harcourt. The resident electoral officer in the state, Johnson Alalibo, shortly after signing and taking delivery of the ballot papers in presence of other stakeholders, addressed newsmen.
Well, I have come to see that we started since around 9 a.m. So far, we have done about 15 local governments, and it's going well. There is no problem. The political parties are here. They have observed. The party agents are here. The civil society and the media, of course, the security agencies are here to observe what we are doing. I believe the process is very transparent, and you can attest to it.
Dr. Oladipo denied conniving with any political party to compromise the electoral process.
We have sent 8 local governments out, and we sent them back immediately. And it was revalidated by the party agents today to look at it, and they saw that it was not tampered. The message I have for the electorate is that they should go out there and vote for their choice candidates. INEC will never allocate scores or results to people. They should guide the process. They should help us to guide the process. If political parties misbehave outside, so we ask all the stakeholders to behave, to play the game by the rules.
Correspondent Zoe Biruwari reports that Dr. Oladipo also explained that some of the missing beavers have been recovered and will be used to transmit results from the polling units.
We have configured all the beavers that we are going to use for the election. In Rivers State, 6,865. Supposed to be 66, but we have 10 units in Rivers State, so it's 65. And they are all configured. Hopefully, we will not have the kind of problem we had last time. We are going to transmit the results from the units. We recovered, for now, we have damaged beavers 3 in the state, and we have 22 missing. They have been replaced from headquarters. So we are still trailing. Some reports have been made to the police, and they are trailing them.
Moving on, the chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress in Rivers State, Alex Agwanwo, has appealed to the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, to extend the proposed promotion of civil servants to staff of local government and State House of Assembly. Agwanwo made the appeal while congratulating the governor for the recent approval of the promotion of civil servant and employment of 10,000 youths into the civil service.
Your Excellency, last week you said that you are going to implement the promotion, commence, and also the 10,000 employment of Rivers State indigenes. We want to tell you that as workers of Rivers State, we are solidly behind you. We'll keep behind you. We are going to stand by you to make sure Rivers State workers benefit from this administration. We want to thank you once again and also appeal that extend the hand of fellowship to other civil service commissions, like local government commission, the parliamentary, the House Assembly commission, because they are also part of public service. So they can also be beneficiary of this promotional exercise.
On the issue of the 7 days ultimatum by the National Secretariat of NLC to the federal government to address the scarcity of funds and petrol faced industrial action, Agwanwo said the state will ensure full compliance.
7 days is counting, and we're waiting until the 7 days. After 7 days, whatever directive is given concerning the fuel scarcity and the cash crunch, we are going to abide by it, because these policies, this misnomer by the government is not acceptable. Nigerians are suffering, and we can't keep suffering. As workers, as leaders in this capacity, we are like the voice of the masses, and we have to speak for the masses.
The newly appointed Special Assistant to Governor Nyesom Wike on Student Affairs, Soye Maxwell, has dispelled reports that his appointment is a mere political gimmick by the governor. Speaking with our correspondent, Maxwell said the students should not be concerned with the time of the appointment, but with what can be achieved with the time.
The idea is the result that comes from the appointment that His Excellency has made. To me, that should be the interest of Rivers State. Yes, it is fine. There is no government without criticism. For Christ's sake, for democracy to thrive, there should be criticism. So I welcome those that are saying, oh, His Excellency has done this, but I want to assure student community that they are going to get the full benefit of whatsoever thing His Excellency has promised. That is what I assure them.
And back to political matters, where the PDP and its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, has withdrawn a fresh application they filed to compel INEC to allow their agents take part in the process of sorting out ballot papers that were used for the presidential election. Both the PDP and Atiku, who are separately challenging the outcome of the election, declared in favour of the candidate of the APC, Bola Tinubu, told the Presidential Election Petition Court that they were no longer interested in the application. And the National Broadcasting Commission said it has sanctioned 25 stations in the course of monitoring the 2023 presidential election, while 16 stations have been given a final warning. The DG of the NBC, Balarabe Ilela gave the warning today during a press conference in Abuja. He stressed the need for broadcast stations to be professional in the discharge of their duties ahead of the March 18 governorship and state assembly elections. And still ahead on the news, federal government postpones national population and housing census. Do please stay tuned. update on Nigeria Info. The federal government has postponed the national population census. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, while announcing the postponement after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, said the decision to shift the census was a result of the postponement of the governorship and state assembly elections by INEC. The minister said the exercise would now be held in the month of May, but no specific date was given. And President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in 7 board members for their independent corrupt practices and other related offences. The swearing-in took place shortly before the commencement of the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting. Others appointed include Grace Chinyere from Rivers State.
And now the business news.
But Harcourt residents have started accepting the old Naira notes of 1,000 Naira and 500 Naira following the CBN's directive. The Supreme Court order should be adhered to. And some of them told our correspondent that they are relieved that the cash scarcity has come to an end.
I feel good that I'm able to have access to my money. I don't have to pay an exorbitant amount of money to have access to my account. Unlike the previous cash withdrawal that I've been doing through POS, I paid 4,000 Naira to get 10,000 Naira.
People for market, they never connect from us for Bandre market.
I'm enjoying my business the way I'm doing my business, because before, means to get cash is very, very hard, and bank is paying old money now. So I'm very, very enjoying the way I'm doing my business now more than before.
I connect. I see many change for my business as I start to connect.
Elsewhere, the Federal Executive Council has endorsed the Nigeria Agenda 2050, a plan aimed at increasing real GDP growth by 7%, creating 165 million new jobs and reducing the number of people living in poverty to 2.1 million in 2050, from the 83 million people estimated in 2020. Meanwhile, Nigeria's inflation rate has risen to 21.91% compared to January 2023's inflation rate, which was 21.82%.
Take it away with the entertainment news.
Legendary rock guitarist Brian May has received a knighthood from Britain's King Charles III. Now, May, who was a founding member of the band Queen, would now be known as Sir Brian, following the investiture ceremony at Buckingham Palace on Tuesday.
And now, updates on the sports news.
Nigeria's Victor Osimhen will aim to score his 50th goal for Napoli when they host Eintracht Frankfurt in tonight's Champions League second leg last 16 tie. The game will also be his 90th for the club since he arrived from Lille in 2020 for a record fee of 80 million euros. The Nigerian has since posted 49 goals and 14 assists in 89 appearances for Napoli in all tournaments.
And now, we're bringing you news from around the world.
A rescue effort is gathering pace in southern Malawi as rains have eased, allowing aid workers to move further into the areas affected by Tropical Storm Freddy. Malawi's information minister told the BBC helicopters are now flying to areas cut off by swollen rivers and mudslides. Nearly 200 people have died, with dozens still missing. Almost 20,000 people were also displaced by the storm. And that's it. On the news this evening, you heard some women in Port Harcourt today staged a protest at the INEC office over the conduct of last presidential and National Assembly elections. 5 governorship candidates in Rivers State have warned against allowing politicians access to collation centres in this Saturday's elections. INEC in Rivers State has distributed sensitive election materials to local government areas. And PDP has withdrawn the fresh application it filed against INEC. The National Broadcasting Commission has sanctioned 25 stations. And the foreign scene rescue efforts gather pace in southern Malawi after Tropical Storm Freddy killed nearly 200 people. And that was the news. It's edited by Onyeka Wosu. Rains expected in Port Harcourt this evening. But do remember that peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. Well, thanks for listening. I'm Adedayo Ilushakin. Good evening.
Oh yes, they say who the cap fit make you wear am. Now him make the Ogoni same Vanguard they call all Ogoni sons and daughters wey hold PVC to vote for Seminalaye Fobara Bemenelegbo 1 of